Hi there and welcome to the latest video blog, or joint collaborative video blog should I say, between heavyhops.com and
the Hopster Craft Beer blog.
We'll put links down there, see. So today we are going to be in this video reviewing 3 Adnams beers. They were very kind enough to send us some beers, and I should point that out at the start of the video. These beers were received free from Adnams. It won't change my opinion or Phil's opinion on the beers, but just as a bit of clearance there, we did get these beers from Adnams. We are starting off with Adnams Native Britten, which is 4.5% ale. Doesn't actually describe
it's not actually,
style.
it doesn't actually give a style.
Doesn't give a style, but it is brewed with ingredients exclusively from Suffolk, including the malted barley, the wheat. The hops are also from Suffolk, and the honey and thyme that are in this beer are also from Suffolk as well. Now I don't know what to expect because I've never had a beer with honey in it, but I've never, to my knowledge, had anything with thyme, and especially the combination.
Yeah, I've certainly never had honey and thyme together, so not really sure how that's going to turn out.
Apparently brewed to celebrate the centenary of Benjamin Britten, who is allegedly, according to the bottle, one of Britain's great composers of the 20th century. I didn't know who he was, but now I do, so thank you, Adnams. So we'll crack these open and we'll get
raising awareness of 20th century composers.
Yes, I know. Brewing good beer and raising the profile of Benjamin Britten. So we're going to pour these into a standard lager IPA glass from Spiegelau. We're both using the same glass so that we can have a bit of comparison on them. I do believe these will be bottle conditioned, so I'm going to try and get it all in one pour. I'm already getting aroma from here, and I'm quite familiar with that.
I'm getting thyme.
Yeah, thyme is definitely used, I can confirm. Wow.
There's almost a Belgian-y sort of aroma.
There is a Belgian-y sort of smell, yeah. Not far removed from something like Duvel, actually.
No, it's quite similar, actually. Like a sweet sort of bready.
Sweet bread, like brioche. Yeah. Oh, there's quite a lot of residual sweetness there. Oh, but it bitters out nicely. I rather like that. It's very good.
Yeah, very, very smooth, that's the taste.
Yeah, really smooth. I don't know, I assume that this is not going to be available all the time. I assume that this has been brewed this year to celebrate the centenary, and it will maybe disappear, or it might come back as a guest, possibly maybe without mentioning the word centenary on the back. I definitely recommend trying some of that. What would you give it out of 10? I know I've put you on the spot there.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, I really, really like it. I think I absolutely have more than 3 pints of it, but it doesn't really drive me wild.
It doesn't. It's not big and loud, is it? It's quite subtle, and it's quite. I would say it's very sessionable, even at 4.5%. It's not crazy ABV, but it is still on the high end of session ale.
Yeah, like so many of Adnams beers, just great for a pint in the pub or bar.
Really. I think one word to use to describe Adnams would be really consistent as well.
Yeah.
I've never ever had a bad bottle from Adnams or tasted bad cask. No, I'm really impressed with that. Join us. We're going to enjoy these now. There'll be a little splice in the video, and join us where we'll be trying another 2 Adnams beers just shortly. So, that's us tried Native Britten. I thought it was really good, but I couldn't look past, as it developed, I couldn't look past the thyme, which is interesting because you couldn't find it.
I got the thyme, I could work out, I could pick the thyme out, but I was much more focused on the sweetness of it.
We've discovered I must be really, really sensitive to herbs, because all I could think about when I was drinking, this is very nice, but it's very herby. So next, on our Adnams discovery journey, we are moving on to Innovation, which is part of the Jack brand, which has Adnams attached to it, but seems to be a side project from Adnams. Innovation is described on the back as a splendidly hoppy IPA. It's 6.7% alcohol by volume. Unfortunately, on the front, it's described as just being a flavoursome ale, which Adnams, if you're listening, I don't like that.
It's
doesn't give me anything.
It'd be helpful to make it more obvious that what style it actually is an IPA. So hence we've broken out the IPA.
The IPA. Speaking of IPA glasses, which only came out last month in the UK, we're trying these in. So as I say, my only thing from looking at the bottle would be I want the word IPA where flavours of ale currently lies. That's a minor thing.
Innovation IPA sounds really good actually.
Innovation IPA does sound good. No idea what it's hopped with, nothing. I probably should have looked it up online, but I didn't want to risk seeing tasting notes for it and then them influencing my tasting. So unfortunately, I can't tell you anything about the hopping, etc., etc., but I will probably post that in the actual blog itself.
Okay, first thing, I love the colour.
Yeah, that's a really nice colour actually. I think you can see that the sun has just come out in Scotland, oh my god. And I'm getting it on the nose already.
Wow. Orange peel?
Yeah, orange peel, I think grapefruit as well.
Yeah. Big, like, New World hop aroma.
Yeah, massive New World hop aroma coming off that.
That's actually really, really good.
Maybe a little bit of sherbet lemons as well.
Yeah.
But well focused on citrus, definitely citrusy.
Yeah.
Let's give it a bash. Oh, I like that. The aroma is definitely much more than the aroma hops definitely give a lot away.
Yeah.
And maybe it's really.
I get at the end a very, very sweet biscuit.
Yeah. There is a real nice sweetness there to back that aroma up. I absolutely love the aroma.
Yeah, that is absolutely fantastic. I love that.
Yeah, I'm really, really impressed with that. Like, really, really impressed with it. Yeah. This is an absolute ramp up from Native Britain in my eyes. This is much more my style of beer. The Native Britain was very much sessionable. It was really, 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 really drinkable, really distinctive as well. But for me, this is just it is what it says in the tin. There are so many. I don't want to call them regional brewers, but there's so many brewers out there who are attempting to move with the market and brew IPAs, and they're just not hitting the mark. This absolutely is IPA, undeniably IPA. Wow. I think we're going to enjoy these, and afterwards we're going to move on to our third Adnams beer, which is also part of the Jack brand, and it's a rye IPA. So
I would happily give that a solid 8.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. I'm going to untap this now. Cheers. So here we are. We just had innovation, and I have to say it was fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely fantastic.
Wow, it really blew me away. I don't really know what I was expecting from it, but it certainly wasn't that.
We didn't actually notice it was an IPA until just before we tried it. So
yeah. So now we're on to, I believe, the second of the Jack brand beers from Adnams. Innovation being the first, and Clump Sagin being the second one. And I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I really apologise if I'm not. This is a rye IPA, or as I like to call them, rye PA, because it's easier to say. We've also discovered that the sign-rated bottles here that you see are made to replicate the old-style Adnams ones from way, way back. There wasn't a date on the photograph that we looked at, but these are made to look like the old ones. So this apparently is named after a George Sagin, nickname Clump Sagin, who was apparently on the brewery Tug of War
in 1923.
Yeah, I know. I discovered tonight that Adnams has a lot more history than I thought. I knew they were an old brewery, but I didn't know.
I didn't know that old anyway.
So this comes in at 5% ABV. I'm going to be entirely honest and say I'm not really sure what I'm expecting here, because my previous experiences with rye PA or rye IPAs have not been, or have been checkered, shall we say.
It's exactly the colour I was expecting.
Yeah, exactly. Chestnut.
Yeah. Very, very common with rye. Now, I get the rye immediately on the nose.
Yeah, the pepperiness from the rye is definitely there. Although I quite like, there's something... I quite like about the hops. They're very clean.
Yeah. Seems to work quite nice with that, the pepperiness of the rye.
Yeah, yeah, there is something quite nice about that.
Let's see.
I love the finish. Now, I'm going to put my head on a limb here and say that's the first rye IPA that I've really properly said I would pick up another bottle of that.
Yeah.
It's not a style I am particularly that fond of. As I say, I've had a bit of a checkered relationship with rye IPA in the past. I really quite like that. It's to me, it's almost slightly a letdown after the innovation, but that's because I really, really enjoyed the innovation.
Yeah, yeah. With the pepperiness of the rye and the bitterness of the hops, it really has. It works together quite well.
They kind of almost compete with each other, but they don't. This is going to sound really beer poncy, so excuse me for this. They don't. They're not shouting at each other. They are competing with each other, but they're kind of competing and complementing each other, rather than sometimes you get flavours and they compete with each other in a big way, and they just don't work. They clash, and it doesn't clash. The flavours really marry very well together. I'm still unsure whether I'm sold on rye. I think I might still be a bit unsold on rye.
Whenever I've had a rye beer, even one like this, which I've actually enjoyed, I have to sort of explain why I enjoyed it. Like I say, explain around the rye, why the rye works, rather than just saying, this is a good beer, I love it, you know.
I once remember insisting, about the age of about 15 or 16, shopping, that we bought some rye bread, because it looked really fashionable and European to me. And my mother made me eat every last bit of this loaf because I had insisted that we buy it rather than the Kingsmill or whatever we usually bought. And it was truly atrocious. I remember it being horrible, horrible stuff. I don't think I've ever forgiven rye since.
Let's explain your dislike of rye.
Possibly, it might explain a lot of things. Anyway, you didn't need to know that. I might edit that out. But no, the three beers that we've had by Adnams, I would say... definitely my favourite has been Innovation.
Oh, absolutely.
Innovation
was shadow of a doubt.
Knocked the other two out of the park. They really did. I would actually say that my next favourite is actually Clump Sagin.
Yeah, I mean, the Benjamin Britten beer was good, but it was nice, but it wasn't that.
I kind of see them in different categories almost, because to me these are kind of almost speciality, sort of. They're aiming at a certain part of the market, whereas I would say Native Britain is aiming at a larger cask market.
Yeah.
And I can imagine, I can just imagine on a really nice hot, I was going to say hot British summer's day, when we get one, going in and asking for a pint of that and really enjoying that. But then when I go home and I want to enjoy something a bit more intense, these two, I really, really, and I love the branding. I really, really like these sign right bottles. They're just fantastic.
Without wanting to sound too like beer geeky, I think this beer, along with the Innovation IPA, I think sort of it has more of a craft beer sort of air about it.
It does, yeah. It does, and I know what you mean. It's a hard thing to explain.
It's
like how and why, but
it's almost intangible. I mean, it's hard to sort of get to. But
I would like to say once again thank you very much to Adnams, and just to clear up any confusion, Adnams did provide these beers that we've tried tonight. They haven't influenced me in any way, shape or form, though I've given you an honest critique of these beers. Thank you very much for watching this Adnams based video blog for the Hopster and for heavyhops.com. I hope you can get your hands on some of these beers because they are really, really worth a try. Cheers.